Hey, Laker Nation, let's keep it real the West Coast way, because I know exactly where your head's at with this team right now. You're tired of the fourth quarter roller coaster, you're over the possessions where we guard hard for 18 seconds and then a small gets wiped out by a screen and it all melts, and you're done watching our half-court offense turn into an ISO tug-of-war when the clock gets loud. You want lineups that feel calm, grown, playoff-ready, where the guard next to LeBron and AD isn't asking for the ball to prove a point. He's just bending the floor with defense, timing, and clean decisions. That's the vibe of this conversation. And I'm going to talk to you like someone who's sitting 2 seats down at crypto. Because if you've watched this group with me through the noise, you can feel it. The difference between a fun regular season win and a real May problem solved is one two-way guard who shrinks chaos without touching the spotlight. And tonight, I'm putting a magnifying glass on the exact archetype that flips our identity from dangerous to inevitable. The kind of player who makes LeBron's reads hit quicker, lets AD defend on the front foot, and doesn't cost us rhythm on offense. We're going to walk through what the Lakers actually need in this CBA era, what the floor looks like without a ball-dominant fixer at the point of attack, how the market for elite defensive guards moved under the new apron rules, and what kind of move actually threads the needle in LA. And I'm going to hold the name you're waiting for until the moment it makes sense. Because the point isn't a headline, it's a blueprint. Start courtside with the version of the Lakers that shows up when it matters. LeBron is a second side trigger who punishes tilted floors with 0 wasted dribbles, AD is the anchor who can toggle between drop, show, and switch without throwing away his legs, and wings who turn defensive stops into instant pace without hunting hero plays. When we're that team, it's because the guards on the floor handle the ugly stuff. Screen navigation, nail help with real hands, low-maintenance ball handling, and 0 drama. When we're not, it's because we're using 2 guys to do one job or asking one guy to be something he isn't. And if you've been watching these fourth quarters with me, you know the possessions I'm talking about. A guard gets caught on contact, the help arrives a beat late, AD has to play babysitter instead of hunter, and on the other end, we're into a late clock bailout that turns a solid possession into a scratch and hope 3. That's not a talent problem. That's a role problem. One that can be solved by a guard who treats defense like a craft and offense like connective tissue, not a personal brand. Now zoom out to the business reality, the part a lot of shows skip but we have to respect in LA. In this CBA, the top of the market is not a shopping mall. Second apron teams don't get cute with aggregation, exceptions, or we'll take back a little more and figure it out later. You live inside the rules or you get punished. And that means the real targets are the ones who change playoff math without smashing your cap sheet. Also, the league got smart. Teams lock up their winning guards early, and the ones who hit the rumor mill are either expensive, misfit, or attached to a price that makes you sweat. Which is why I keep bringing you back to the archetype. Not a high-usage bucket, not a flashy name to trend on a Tuesday, but the guy who takes the hardest backcourt cover, doesn't die on screens, contest at the rim from the weak side like a forward, and on offense, lives loud in the small spaces. Relocate, catch and shoot, 2-dribble middle game, swing into the next action. You give that to LeBron and AD, and watch the shoulders relax. Because the game becomes organized before it's heroic. So here's the LA truth you came for, delivered clean. All roads in this conversation point to one profile that already proved it can carry championship possessions without demanding oxygen. And yes, now I'll say it out loud, because the name finally fits the work we did to get here. Derrick White. If your first reaction is, that's a dream, Boston isn't moving him, that's fair, because he's exactly the sort of playoff-proof guard contenders keep. But this isn't a fantasy segment. It's a reality check with open eyes. White locked a 4-year extension last summer that told us how much the Celtics value him, and it told us something else too. In a world where teams are forever juggling apron math and pick flexibility, even champions listen when an offer solves more than one column. I'm not saying they're eager, far from it, but the fact that smart people have started spitballing 3-team mechanisms with White as the outgoing piece tells you which tier of player actually moves the needle in 2025. When a guard like this pops up in speculation for other teams, it's a reminder. If a window opens, even a crack, contenders sprint. Our job in LA is to have a sober plan ready, not a wish list. Let's talk basketball fit first, because that's the part you and I actually care about at 9:30 p.m. on a school night. White next to LeBron, AD in a mix of Reeves and wing shooters is the exact type of lineup that survives playoff edits. He can be the on-ball adult against jitterbug guards. He can chase through 3 actions and still contest at the rim like a small forward. He can tag the roller at the nail without losing the corner. And on offense, he keeps possessions breathing with quick decisions instead of stopping the beat to call his own number. He's become one of the most trustworthy catch-and-shoot guards in the league because the footwork is clean and the readiness is elite. And when teams try to stash a small on him, he's got that controlled 2-dribble counter, middle pull-up, push floater, or inside hand finish that punishes laziness without hijacking the action. That's a perfect fit for the Lakers' best version of themselves. LeBron is a scalpel, AD is gravity, the guard is glue. Glue wins when the lights get hot. But this city didn't put banners up by ignoring the cost. So let's be adults about the mechanics. There is no signing Derrick White. He's under contract. Any path goes through a trade that makes sense under the apron rules and still leaves us with a real roster. Matching salary means putting something real on the table, not back-of-the-bench math. And because our near-term pick shelf isn't overflowing, you'd likely be talking about a package that includes a good player on a real number plus an out-year first that actually has teeth. Would Boston even take that?
Most days, probably not. Their whole identity is built on a defensive backcourt that doesn't blink. But we're not living in a vacuum. The league keeps moving. Tax positions shift, young guards arrive, random injuries change rotations, and once in a while, a front office looks at a scary cap sheet and says, if we can get a blue-chip prospect on a rookie deal plus a future pick we love, maybe we take the pain now to stay flexible later. That's how contenders retool without falling off a cliff. We don't bank on it, but we prepare for it. If you're with me so far, here's where I hit you with the thing you feel in your gut when you watch us. Adding a guard like White isn't about having another name to shout. It's about shrinking the number of possessions where LeBron has to be the answer before the question is even asked. It's about letting AD play more violent coverages because he trusts the guard behind him to stay attached. It's about turning our last 5 minutes into a schedule instead of a prayer. Push on make, early entry to AD, strong side corner occupied by a real shooter. White toggling between handoff trigger and back cut decoy. LeBron slicing into second side pick and roll with the defense that's already loaded the wrong way. When the music sounds like that, you win playoff series without the game ever feeling out of breath. And that's what this fan base deserves. Basketball that looks like Los Angeles, composed, cinematic, and built to travel. I also hear the pushback from you because you're smart. Do we really want to spend the best asset left on a guard who doesn't score 25? Short answer, in this CBA, yes. If that guard removes the exact weakness that keeps knocking you out, we've tried the other path, stack shot creation and hope we out-talent switches. The modern playoffs punish that. The chessboard is about shrinking advantage creation on one end while creating repeatable advantage passing on the other. White is a plus on both axes, and that's why he commands a premium. The question isn't, is he worth it? It's, what can we give up without breaking the lineups that work? For me, the line is simple. If the ask is 2 core pieces plus your clean first, you walk. If the ask is 1 good player, a light filler, and a future first with protections that keep you alive, you stay. That's how you honor the window without setting it on fire. It's also how you respect LeBron and AD, by giving them a guard who makes their dominance easier to access, not another mouth to feed. Let me put you inside the matchups where this really matters. Think about the last time we saw a small, strong guard tilt a series just by refusing to die on screens and blowing up DHO timing. That's the kind of thing you don't fully appreciate until it's yours. When the point of attack holds, AD can take a step toward the ball, show and recover without burning his lungs. And our weak side wing isn't living in panic rotations. On the other end, when the guard next to LeBron makes quick, boring decisions, the defense can't load up with both feet. The closeouts get longer, the drives get cleaner, the late clock shots get rarer. It's not loud, but it's brutal. And it's exactly what we've been missing during those 5-minute stretches that feel like we're grinding sand. Vegas doesn't price this in, film does, banners do. Now, because this is Lakers News Fan Report and we keep it straight with each other, I'm not going to pretend the rumor lanes currently point White to LA. They don't. The heat around his name lately is tied to other teams' cap timelines and 3-team structures where Boston gets a blue-chip rookie and future capital while ducking deeper tax pain. That said, the fact that his name even lives in those hypotheticals tells you his category. The fixers that real contenders chase when the calendar turns. Our angle, if a lane opens, is clarity. No mixed messages, no chasing star power for its own sake. We put a clean package on the table, we protect one of our glue wings if we can, and we sell the obvious on-court fit. If the door stays shut, we keep our powder for the next white-type guard who shakes loose. Either way, we don't drift. We target the weakness we've seen for 2 springs, and we solve it for good. Quick gut check with you before we land, because your read always makes this smarter. Would you actually part with one rotation favorite plus a protected out-year first if it meant plugging the exact defensive leak that keeps popping up in late rounds? Or would you roll with internal growth, keep the pick, and hold for a bigger splash? Drop the package you'd say yes to below, and, this is the fun part, tell me your closing 5 if white were in the mix. I want your configuration with roles, not just names. Who's the on-ball chaser, who tags at the mail, who lives in the strong side corner, and who's the late clock trigger if LeBron is forced to move it. I'll feature the sharpest lineup logic next upload because this community spots things national shows miss. My closing analysis, clean and California straight. Derrick White is exactly the kind of playoff-proof guard who multiplies LeBron and AD without eating the offense, and he cures the single most stubborn piece of our defensive profile. The basketball case is A-tier. The financial path is narrow but not impossible, and the market reality is that Boston has little reason to move him unless a 3-column return appears. If a lane ever opens that doesn't gut our core or drain our last clean pick, you go. For once, it's not about a flashy headline. It's about buying certainty in May. If the price climbs into 2 core pieces and the only pristine first, you hold and hunt the next archetype. That's how you stay disciplined in an apron league while respecting the window in front of you. If this is the kind of grounded, Los Angeles honest breakdown you want more of, like the video, subscribe to Lakers News Fan Report, share this with the diehard in your group chat, and keep your notifications on because the moment this rumor lane shifts even a degree, I'll have the cat math, the lineup ripple, and the playoff grade analysis ready for you. No fluff, just the truth we live by out here.